They go through the process of getting a mesh that you've built in Max over to Mudbox, where you can paint on more details, subdivide the mesh, and then kick out the normal map. So it'll be one of the few Mudbox tutorials that are coming along. I've got a mesh here that I've made. It's a fairly low polygon human figure. And you can see that it's been unwrapped. These green lines are the seams of the unwrap. A couple things about the unwrapping, let me scoot this over here, is you can see the unwraps here. Everything has been scaled so that it's in relation to each other. It's the proper scale, and I've done that with a checker map on it. And everything has been laid out in its own separate space. You can get away with layering these on top of each other if they're exactly the same, but you can't flip or mirror them. And that's what we used to do before we had normal maps. So every little piece has its own space here. It makes for some pretty unruly seams, but this is the way we can get the normal map out. Also make sure nothing is overlapping. I've actually got a few in here I just saw that are overlapping. Those would need to be fixed, but they're minor and they're not going to show for this particular tutorial. You would save this with its UVs. It needs to have its UVs on it, or else you're not going to be able to get the normal map out, because it's going to tie the normal map to the UV information. Just real quick about what I said about it being scaled correctly. If I put a checker on this and drop it on here and show it, you can see that all the checkers are the same scale to each other, and that's how you can tell if it's scaled properly. I'm going to put this skin material on it again. Okay, at this point we export it, so we just have it selected and say export selected. That way we don't get anything else selected by accident. And you can export it as an OBJ object. So in this case I'm going to export it as Joan UV export. And we hit save, and I'm just going to replace that. You'll get this message will come up, and we just say OK to this. The quads is the important thing, but it's already set. There we go. It's been exported. I can get rid of Max for a second and hop over here to Mudbox, which I haven't started yet. I could have, because it would have saved a lot of time and you wouldn't need to look at my desktop, which isn't very exciting. And we're waiting, and we're waiting. Okay. And then we're going to go to File, Import, make a new scene if you haven't, if you've been working in it, and we'll import our little mesh. There we go. Hold down Alt to move the camera. So Alt left button, left mouse button rotates. Alt middle roll button moves or scrolls, and Alt right button zooms. So I'm just going to maneuver this into place. Now, I'm going to subdivide the mesh, because if I start drawing on this and trying to get my detail, I don't have enough polygons. So I'm going to subdivide the mesh. Okay, and we're going to, you could see, we're going to subdivide it more, but you can see how many faces you've got here. So I just added a whole bunch of faces to this. I'm going to go back here and hit subdivide again, or you can hit Shift D, which is a little easier. And you can see now my face count went up again. I'm going to go up one more time, and I'm going to get up towards the 150s. So that's 152,000 polygons in this, or faces. Now, I can draw on this and add detail. I'm going to use a Wacom tablet, which is what Mudbox was really designed to be used with. And if you hear me clunking around on the keyboard, it's because I'm not particularly good at using the Wacom tablet and Mudbox here. So I'm just going to rotate this guy around a little bit. There we go. And all I'm going to do is draw in some quick details with this. I want this to be mirrored, so I'm going to mirror this. And you can see that if I go to I'm having a lot of issues here with the RAM. Alright, see if we can get through this. Okay, and we need to mirror this on, there we go. We'll mirror it on the local X. That looks about right. Let me see what local Z does on me. Here, yeah, okay. We want local X because that's my center. And you can control your size of your brush here, or you can hit the B button and drag with your Wacom pin or mouse. But I'm just going to draw in some easy to see details here. Let me zoom in a little bit and you'll see what I'm doing. I just need enough to get a normal map from. There we go. And I'll make it a little bigger. Okay, and you can see the mesh deforming as I'm drawing on it. You can also use this smooth brush to smooth out anything that you think you don't like. I use this smooth brush quite a bit. There we go. And we'll add some ribs down here. And the smooth feature. I like to smooth those out because I really don't like it when the detail gets too rough. So those are smoothed out. Got some muscles down here. There we go. So we got some back muscles in there. You know, you can see how easy this is to really add in your detail. I really like this program. I'm going to rotate her around a little bit. There we go. And just add some detail here around the neck. Making her neck a little bit thicker. And we're just going to get a normal map out of this. We're not going to kick out the higher poly mesh, but you could if you wanted to. It's pretty easy. And I'm just going to add some more detail here real quick, just enough so that we've got something to work with. There we go. And we'll just add some smoothness here to her backside. Okay, and then I'm going to very quickly just add some detail in other parts of the body here, just so that we have something to see in the normal map. And you can see how that mirror function's working. It works pretty well. Draws on both sides of the mesh. And we'll zoom into the face here and we'll add some detail to the face and then be done with it. Okay, we're going to need a smaller brush for this. I'm going to knock down the strength quite a bit. And we'll just kind of draw some detail in here. It's nice that you kind of you just need to make the base piece. You can see my mesh is actually a little bit off center up here around the face. Mirror feature's not working as well. Okay. Anyways, I'm just making sure my tangents are correct there. I didn't mean to put lumps in her head. I'm just going to fix up her chin here a little bit, and we'll be done with it. Okay. Now, once this is all done, I can get my normal mapping information out of this. Figure out which way I'm moving her. There we go. Trying to get this in a place you can see it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put my Wacom tablet away since I'm not very good at maneuvering through this program with it. Okay, and we're going to kick the normal map out now. You go to Utilities, Texture Baking, New Operation. Up here, just drop the low resolution down to 0. Subdivision can stay at none for here. This high resolution has to go up to the highest resolution, or the one that you've been working on is what it really needs there. You don't need to fill this blank in. The subdivision here can be highest. And then you want to create a normal map, but not a displacement map for this. And then you need to give your normal map a name. I'm going to kick over here to my file that we've been saving this in. And we'll call this normal map from Mudbox. Long name, but it's descriptive. And we're going to save that. Okay, and I believe we're all set. Sometimes I forget something. The search distance can actually come down a little bit. I usually put it somewhere around 20. And we'll start the operation. And let's see if we get anything here. Yep. Okay, it's going to work. Once it gets into this second pass, it seems to be happy. So those settings will work. It's doing the map extraction right now. You can tell if it's working right down here by that bar. And once it gets into the second phase and you get these little boxes showing up, it'll work. And we'll give it, looks like about another 20 seconds. And there we go. Okay. And if you get this and it says it finished without errors, you did everything correctly. You can close all of this down. At this point, you've saved the normal map. You don't really need to save the mesh unless you want to use it as a subdivision mesh, but you should save the file, so you can save the scene here. That way you can open it back up again. But my normal map information is now over here, and here's my normal map. I'll open this up. It'll take a second here in AC/DC, but it'll come up. And all of that light information and all of that detail can now be applied back over to your low poly mesh. And we'll do that in a second here. But I'll show you what the normal map looks like. And it'll be coming up in a second. I've got a RAM issue whenever I run Mudbox. But here's my normal map, and you can see all this information I drew in, like her eyebrows, are now built into the normal map. A lot of this other information I scribbled in as I was drawing. I'm going to jump over here to Max at this point, and we'll load the normal map. All it is it goes under Maps, Bump Map, Normal Bump, Normal, Bitmap. Jump over to where I have it. There we go. And it's on there now. If I magnify this, you can see that that normal map is on there. It's like a bump map. And it's now on my model. We can't see it with the way we're doing it here. If you want to use the DirectX plugin, you can. And if I jump back out here to the top, you might be able to get it back on. I'm going to go to DirectX Manager and turn this on. And that's right. It always turns inside out on this machine at home. But for the most part, you would be able to see that if you had a spotlight on it. You can see the normal map information is on there. We'll zoom into her head here. Not that close. That's going to be a little creepy. And you can see that the normal map information is on there. Now it's using a, there's no lighting in this scene, so it's not going to look particularly good if we add a spotlight to it. Do a target spot. Hoping you'll be able to see it. I forgot on this computer I've got problems with seeing the normal maps. Okay, and if we render that, you can see that it's a little bit bumpier than it was, and that's the normal map information that you're seeing. So that's how you kick a model out over to Mudbox, get a normal map out, and put it back on.